Hello, I'm Sandy McMurdy. I'm the deputy here at the North Dakota Office of the Secretary of State, and I'm here to give you a little bit of an overview of our bulk filer upload process for our campaign finance reporting system. If you are an individual who has a lot of transactions and likes to keep track of those in an Excel spreadsheet outside of the system and then upload, then this is the right video for you. For most filers, you're going to be doing this manual entry within the system because you don't have that many entries. However, for some of our PACs and larger committees, they like to do this outside the system and do an upload. So this is the instructions for how to maintain that Excel spreadsheet and do that import into the system prior to a filing period. First and most important, we're never ever going to re-upload transactions we've already uploaded. So after you upload for one period, you're always going to start a new spreadsheet, a blank spreadsheet from the date after the date of upload. So always making sure those new transactions go into a new spreadsheet and we never re-upload. Any edits or changes you need to make to already uploaded transactions will have to take place in the system and cannot be dealt with through a bulk upload. So with that in mind, let's get started. Give me one moment here just to find us over on our campaign finance site. All right. So here you can see where we are on our campaign finance reporting system, CFRS.sos.indy.gov. You're going to come to this site and you're going to sign in into your public login, find the committee tile that relates to the committee you want to work in, and then get into that system. You're going to land on your report dashboard. I'm working in a PAC here, and you can see on my report dashboard under my nav menu, if I scroll down, you'll see Midstream Import Manager is now available to you as a user. If you click on Import Manager, you're going to land on the Import Manager page. You can see in this table here, I have uploaded a file in the past. I had records that were successful. I had one that had an error, and it tells me the file was processed with an error. We'll walk through all of that as we get going. As you have more imports in here, you can also search by import ID, which is the number associated with it. If you look at the upper right-hand corner, you're going to see View, which allows you to view any import that you would search for, or import file, excuse me. This allows you to import any file that you have finished and are ready to upload into the system. When you upload transactions into the system, they're not viewable by the public at all until you do a report over on your report dashboard and submit that report. So just a note about that. Okay, back on our import manual, here's everywhere the importance instructions reside, or it's going to be under this download button. So if you go under download, you will see an export imports or Excel import instructions. So if you look at the Excel import instructions, you're going to download a very handy resource tool that's got a lot of the information that you need to do what you need to do successfully. So the CFRS Excel Import Guide or Import Manager provides all the instructions for bulk file uploaders. You have instructions in here with regards to what I'm overviewing today, the templates and what's available to you. We'll go through that in a moment. Some handy, important information about what all those pieces are, along with some notes. And then you have instructions for what columns you need in the worksheet, depending upon your committee type and what's being entered. We'll also walk through that. But one of the main things you need is back in our look up data information. So in here are all the codes that you need to put into the spreadsheet to ensure that your information is received appropriately. So you'll notice by candidate committees, multi-candidate, it's broken down into different sections for contributions and expenditures. So all committees have their own types, which you can come in and make sure you're using those codes appropriately. At the back of the booklet, you'll also see error statuses. So we'll talk about that in a little bit, but more information is provided in the instruction manual for you with regards to that as well. All right, so that's your Excel import instructions. You're going to want to make sure you download those. Your export expense purpose is actually also in your instruction manual. But that is for our filers who report year-end only balances. So our candidates, candidate committees, district party committees, and multi-candidate committees are using that. So it is in the booklet, but it is available here in case you would like to download that as well. Our Excel import template. This is the blank template that you will start from whenever you're entering transactions. Your export contributor payee list. As you might remember from your training in the system, when you have individuals or organizations that are directly linked to you, you can enter them in your contributors and recipients area in the system. The download allows you to download all of these individuals with unique identifiers, so you don't have to enter any address information for them. And last but not least, the export organization list. This is actually a listing of all filers in the campaign finance system and their unique ID codes, which you will need if you are going to import transactions. So with that, let's jump in. I'm going to show you our import template. If you click on any of these, it's going to open up a Windows Explorer window so you can save that file somewhere into your desktop. I'm going to save that export import template, and I will open up that Excel document for us to take a look at. All right, so here is that template. You can see that there's headers across the top. It's very important that you don't change any of these headers in any of the sheets or the tab names on the bottom left-hand corner as well. So the CFCNP tab, this is only for new individuals or new businesses that you don't already have in your contributors or recipients. So this is only for new individuals you would be adding to the system. So for example, I would pick, if they are an individual or business, I would use the code out of my reference instructions. So if I was entering an individual, I would enter them, and then I would enter a unique reference code that I create for them as their external ID. And then I would enter all the information needed based on the instructions I find in that instruction manual. All right. If you are entering information for an individual who is already in the system or who you've already created a code for, you're going to go directly to the next two tabs if you have no new contributors or recipients that need to be in this file. So if I go to the CFCON, this is the file for contributors, or the tab for contributors. So you can see here I have a contribution type, a contributor type, transaction amount, transaction date, and again, a very important thing, this contributor ID. Same thing in our expenses tab, CFEXP, expenditure purpose and transaction year. These are linked only to those year-end filers. And then transaction amount, expenditure, recipient type, transaction date, and again, an ID code for that payee. Everyone enters those. So let me bring you up a file that is already complete here. So give me just a moment to navigate to that. All right, and as I bring that up, we're going to show you a pack, basically a pack test that I've created before that shows you what this spreadsheet could look like when it's filled out. All right, so here we have that spreadsheet. In here, I've entered individuals or organizations that are new. Anybody who has the same mailing address, you can see here I've entered true as same as physical, as in the instructions you'll find in your guide to go by. And then anybody who gave me over $5,000, I've had to include employer information. But the most important part of this is I'm creating that external ID. So if John Arbuckle ever gave me dollars again, his external ID would be 202. I would download that for my contributors and recipients, and I would no longer need to enter his information. And I'll show you how I do that. So if I have any new individuals or organizations, those go in my CFCNP, my contributors and recipients tab. If I'm entering information only for those individuals who have not received money yet, I can come straight to my CFCon or CFExpense. So here you'll see I have this contributor ID. This correlates back to the contributors and recipients you see over here that are new. So here are my new recipients. And it has individuals that I took from a list that I downloaded. So if you would remember, let me grab here. I could, in the system, grab under my import manager, my export organization list. When I do that export organization list, I get this list, which is, again, all those individuals and committees who exist in the campaign finance system. So you can see here I have candidates. If I scroll down, it will change to PACs. And if I continue to scroll, that will change to parties or committees. So I can come into this spreadsheet and find a number for their registrant ID to link that PAC with my spreadsheet. So if I'm taking dollars from the North Dakota Oil PAC, right here, 102,000,1093. I would then go back to my spreadsheet. We'll go back to that one that I was doing, and I would simply enter that number as a contributor ID in here, and then it links it to that party or that committee, excuse me. So if you look at what we see here under contributor type, we have LUMV2. This means it's a lump sum, so I don't need a contributor type. So I've put in my lump sum amount, my transaction date, and I do not need that contributor ID. Again, notes about that are also in your instruction manual. These codes, as I mentioned, will correlate to the booklet. MOI contribution type is money. RIE is a reimbursement of expenditure. Contributor types, here we have individual contributors. These are all candidates. This is a PAC. PPC stands for a political party or committee. Again, your transaction amount, these amounts are over 200 if you are certain committees, might be 100 if you're a measures or petition committee, but it gives you a sense of how those line up in there. Here's our transaction date, and then again, our IDs, which correlate to each individual contributor that I've received dollars from. If we go to the expenditure tab, you're going to see the same thing. We have our transaction amount. We have itemized expenditures for this PAC. So ITEV2 means an itemized expenditure. This LUMV5 correlates to a lump sum. So again, the payee IDs, who are those all linked to? And let me show you one quick thing. You'll notice these columns are blank. These columns are blank because they are for candidates and we're entering for a PAC. I'm going to bring up a candidate filing, and if you see, if I go into their expenses, they do not put in recipient type, transaction, or payee type. They are only reporting in those categories under the codes that exist for those. So a little different filing. All right, once I have everything in my spreadsheet, I feel like it's in a good place. I can then go to my dashboard under Import Manager, and I can import that file. So I'm going to go out and find this file and do an import. So we're going to do import PAC. Oh, hold on. I got to go close it. I forgot I left it open over here. All right. We're going to import the PAC, and I can put in a description. This is a test or video upload, and I'm going to import that. So here you can see my import PAC list is importing. My description is right here, the date I'm importing, and then I can see my total records importing, error records, or success records. That status message is queued, so it's pretty soon that will tell me if I have any messages with error or not error. You can see I have uploaded in the past this PAC new test, and I had a file process with error. So here you can see my file processed successfully. So I had 20 records that uploaded, and they were all successfully processed with no errors. This other one I had uploaded, if this would happen to you and you get a file with an error message like this, you can see 24 records, one was an error. It's very easy to correct. Simply click on the link under status. It will bring up this summary where you can see 25 records in the file, 24 uploaded, one did not. You'll see this download button. This will allow you to download just the error transactions that did not upload. You can then work to correct those and re-upload just the error file. You never want to work from your original file because it's going to make you have duplicate entries, which you then have to go in and delete manually. So what you would do is download your error file. It's going to give that Windows open again, the file browser open, and then it's going to download. And I'm just going to simply click to open that. Let's give that a moment to load. And I'm going to enable editing here. So this sheet has information on it, and there will be errors over here to remove, but always go first to your second sheets because your errors are typically going to exist from your contributions or expenditures. So if I click on contributions, you can see this one did not upload because the PAC was not actually a right contributor number. If I check my expenditures, all of those uploaded fine. So if I come back and check this PAC, I'm going to go, oh, I didn't mean to put it to that one. Let me go find one that was right. I really received that from the North Dakota oil PAC. So I'm going to copy this number, come back to my spreadsheet, put that new number in there. And I'm going to delete my error. And then I'm going to go back over here because these errored only on the basis that I had an error in my contribution sheet. And I'm going to just save this. And I have to save it where I can find it. So give me one moment. Okay, so I'm saving it into my folder. And then I'm going to come back over here and I can simply go out, find that error sheet that I just corrected. And I can try and import that one error that didn't upload. And I can import it. So you'll see again, I get that queued status. And again, it will take its time to upload. If at any point you ever want to see how did you do your other downloads or uploads, you can actually click and download any of those past uploads right here under file name. So you can see I'm still queued, still taking a little time. Oh, file process with errors. So it still says that because I have that data that I didn't need in my contributors tab. But the record, if I look, it processed successfully without any errors. But you remember I did not delete. If we download this file, one moment. I did not remove those contributors or recipients that were left in here. If I'd have removed those, I would have uploaded with no issue. So just a couple tricks and tips that you can look at when you're in there. Many of those are also in your booklet to look at. So then if I come out of here, I can go back over into my enter transactions area and I can go under contributions. I just uploaded a number for a cross time here. So you can see all of those listed in my uploads for the year. So that's really good. And always remember to check, depending on when your transactions are occurring, you may have to change the year and search again. Here are those transactions we just uploaded. All right. So get out there. You should be able to figure it out, hopefully with the help of that instruction manual. Again, if you have any questions, reach out to our office. We'd be happy to help. Give us a call at 701-328-2900. Check the help documents online, and happy uploading.